Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Koala and this is my little nook in this end of the universe that we call YouTube. I am a shamanic practitioner mainly within Nordic shamanism, and I'm here today to talk about Sunwait. What is it? Is there any history behind it? How do I celebrate it? And then I'm going to invite you to celebrate together with me at the end of this video. So, what is it? What is Sunwait? You can also know of it as the Sunwait candles. So the Sunwait candles are 6 candles that we light in awaiting the sun's return at the winter solstice. And we do this 6 Thursdays awaiting the winter solstice. So this year the winter solstice is happening on the 21st of December, Swedish time anyway, Swedish time. It's on a Sunday. Generally speaking, most people light their candles on the Thursday before. So we light the last candle on the 18th of December this year. So a few days before the actual winter solstice. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about how you can do this and how you do it. So, but generally speaking, we light 6 candles awaiting the sun's return. Why 6? Well, before this we have another celebration, which I don't know the English word for. In Swedish we call it blot. It's a blot. It's a celebration that happens in the beginning of November, according to the heathen calendar. If you are an Acer believer, or if you are, there are some congregations almost in Sweden and in the Nordic countries that you can be a part of that celebrates different heathen celebrations throughout the year, and the last one before the winter solstice is approximately 6 weeks or a little more than 6 weeks before the winter solstice. So I think that is where the 6 candles comes from, and generally I think there's about 6 weeks between each and every one of these celebrations. So I don't celebrate those ceremonies that they do, because it's like a religious congregation attached to the believing in the Acer. I don't believe like they do, and I am not a part of any organized religion. So we light 6 candles awaiting the sun's return, right? And those 6 candles are decorated with runes. So generally it's the first 6 runes of the foot arc. So the first rune being the Fe or Fehu. Not all people do this, use those specific runes, but I'm gonna get to that later. So generally 6 candles, 6 Thursdays, 6 runes awaiting the winter solstice. We wait for the sun to return. That's kind of the basis of it. Is there any history behind this? No. Not in the sense of there being history from like hundreds or thousands of years ago. It's not connected to the Viking Age, it's not connected to anything that far back. This is a new tradition, and I think it's important to highlight that fact. This is a new tradition that has come about as something to go against or help to pull the layers off the Christian holidays that has their basis in heathen holidays. So we know that the celebration of the winter solstice is older than the celebration of Christmas, as in the birth of Christ. So we know that when Christianity came to Sweden, to the Nordic countries, we were already celebrating the winter solstice here in Sweden, and then a lot of other countries as well. So Christmas the Christianity took those dates and used those to their advantage, because it was already engraved in people's calendar, like the yearly calendar, and they just shifted some things to adjust it to Christianity. So in my experience in the last 10 or 15 or even 20 years, the witchy community, the shamanic community in the Nordic countries have done their best. We have done our best to take off the layers, the Christian layers of these holidays, and go back to something more heathen. And in a lot of instances, that means that we go back to old history, or just the basics of things. When it comes to the Sunwait candles, I think, and I don't know, because I couldn't really find, doing research for this video, I couldn't really find where this came from and who was the first one to do it, if it was one of these religious congregations that came up with it, or whoever was first. I just remember when I first heard about it and fell for it and wanted to do it, and that was about 15 years ago or so. And suddenly a lot of people did it, and it's a rebellious act almost against the use of advent calendars and advent candles, because that's a really big thing in Sweden, to light those 4 candles awaiting the birth of Christ, I guess. That's kind of the purpose of it. I'm not really sure. So lighting the Sunwait candles allows us to kind of take a lot of the power back to something outside of it. So we take that practice of lighting those candles and having it be awaiting the return of the sun instead of a return of the sun. Sun with a U, sun with no, So it kind of still allows us that waiting and to keep that anticipation and still do something new with it. So we're taking back the power from Christianity and from religion and making it our own. That's kind of what we do with it. So it's not an old tradition, it's a new tradition, and you can do with it what you want. That's kind of why I love it so much. And as I said, I think it's important to emphasize the fact that it is a new tradition, and it's come about as a kind of a rebellious act and a way to keep some of the things that we really enjoy with this time of year, waiting for this holiday, but go back to the return of the sun and the winter solstice. So yeah, that's kind of what it is, and that's the history behind it. So to my knowledge, and the earliest sources that I could find about this when it first came about, I think was around 2010 or something like that. 2011 is the first mention I see of it on any social media page that I could Google my way to, And I came across it around that time actually, but I didn't start to celebrate it properly or integrate it into my celebration of the winter solstice until 2017, 2018. And so how do I do it? I think I celebrated a few years before that, actually, because these candle holders have a few years on them by now. I think I made these or organized these around 2018, and that was me looking for something that was coherent. I think that is when I did it. And in the years before that, I had been looking for this big candle holder, but I didn't find any. And one year I used these big candles, really, we call them block use, really thick candles. I don't know the English word for it, and I don't have anyone around me right now. And I used 6 of those and put them on a big, a big thing that I had on the living room table. So this is what I have come up with, that I have settled for the last 5-6 years. So I have these candle holders on a round plate. This is actually iron, so it's quite heavy. And then I have like this figurine in the middle. It's actually a koala. For now I have this leather cloth, and I have a lot of like stones in different colors, like green, red, white, yellow. I'm not done with this. I have a vision and it's not fulfilled, but I have a few weeks to go before lighting the first candle. So this is the candle I light first, and I have put them in a clockwise order on this little plate. So it's Ur or Urus, that's the first one, because I light the candles, the 6 first candles in the Uthark. So Ur or Urus, Tush or Thrusas, As or Ansus, Reid or Raido, let's see if I can do this, Ken or Kenas, and then I finish off on the winter solstice or close to it with Gifi or Gibbo. So those are the ones that I have chosen because they have significance for me. And I think that's the most important thing, that you choose runes that are significant to you in some way. I have a friend that has made this wonderful, beautiful log that she has carved runes into, painted them, and then she has like burrowed holes for each candle so that she can exchange the candles in this log. And she has chosen 6 runes that to me are random, but to her are significant. And I love it. She took a rune course with me some years ago, and she asked me, do I have to light candles with these 6 runes that you have taught me, this order? I was like, no. This is a new tradition. You do with it what you want. Use the runes that are important to you. And yeah, you don't have to have runes. I've met people with Sunwait candles with just the candles, 6 candles and no runes on them. And I think if you want to make it more like minimalistic, or maybe you want it to blend in more, and maybe you are a closeted witch or something, and you would like to have these candles and the decorations in your home and still have people over that aren't gonna question your runes on the candles, then that's fine. You know, do with it what you will. So that's kind of what I love about it, that we can do with it what we will, what we want to. So yeah, you can light these candles on the Thursdays, starting with the Thursday of I think it's the 13th of November, and then 6 weeks ahead. And those are the dates that I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate on Patreon, on the tier of Curious. I'm gonna host lives, 7 a.m. Central European time. And I've chosen this for 2 reasons. One reason being it's a good fit for me, and I'm the host, so it's a good fit for me. And the other one is that if you live in the US on the West Coast, you can celebrate with me on the evening before, which means you will have to light the candle on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. But the alternative for me would have been to do it in the evening my time, and I don't really feel comfortable with that because that's kind of the time that my partner is home, and he does not celebrate this with me. So, and that's fine. That means that he's gonna do other stuff, and I'm not gonna feel comfortable hosting a live at that time. So I have chosen 7 a.m. on Thursday mornings because of that, and also because if you are a member on the tier of Curious and you are not able to be present during the live will be visible to you afterwards. You can view it whenever you want to, and if you want to celebrate on the Sundays instead, you can watch the live on the Sundays and then light the candles on Sunday, so that you light your last candle on the winter solstice if you want to have that, you know. So that's up to you. you can do both. You can be present for one or two or some of the lives or all of them, and also watch them afterwards if you want to light the candle together with me and the rest of the people in the circle. So I have chosen to celebrate this on my Patreon, on the tier of Curious, because previous lives on that tier has felt so cozy. Because it's behind a paywall, not anybody has access. It's only the people that are members on that tier or on the paying tier. So, which means that it's like a closed space. It's a sacred space that we have together. And last time I hosted a live there, it felt like just sitting in, sitting in someone's living room, talking, chatting, having a nice time, and knowing that no one can see what we're doing, no one can hear, and it just felt cozy, intimate, and safe. That's the word. It just felt safe. So that's why I've chosen to do it on that tier on Patreon and not for all members, because I want that kind of safe space to do it in. And for people to feel safe. So we're gonna light the candle that is correspondent with that date, and we're gonna talk a little bit about runes. And on the 2nd of Sunwait, I will also draw runes during that. So every month on the tier of Curious, I draw runes and answer questions from the members. So every member on that tier get to ask questions to the runes, and I draw runes, and I'm going to incorporate November's rune drawing into the celebration of the 2nd of Sunwait. So, yeah. So come celebrate with me on Patreon. Become a member for, I think it's like $5.50 USD, 45 crowns a month. I don't know what that is in pounds or Australian dollars or anything like that. I have no idea. But know that when you go there, the amount that is says on Patreon is before taxes. So add a quarter to get the real amount. Yeah. So happy Sunwait, everyone, and I will see you then. But before I go, I also want to mention that on my Instagram, I will be sharing a Sunwait calendar talking about rune medicine. So I think I'm going to start that around the 1st of Sunwait as well. I have yet to finalize the schedule for myself to really know when and, when to do what. But I'm going to talk about rune medicine in a rune Sunwait calendar on my Instagram. I'm going to share some of that on my Facebook as well. Dream is one. So, all the links that you need are in the description box. I hope that I have inspired you a little bit, and I hope to see you on my Patreon. But I will also be talking about runes. All of November, all of December, I will be talking about runes here on YouTube. So yeah, that's where we're at. Walk in beauty, everyone, and Xingling.